Dr. Basia Reed here at Carroll Stream Animal Hospital. I'm one of the veterinarians. I see cats, dogs, and exotic pets. Anything that lives in your house, I'd love to see it. I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself, so let's start back where it all began. When I was a young kid, my first love was cats. I always knew I wanted to be a veterinarian, which is no surprise. Back then I had a cat named Oreo, a little black and white guy who I liked quite a bit. My 4th grade teacher was aware that I really wanted to be a doctor, and she found a book for me called The Well Cat Book. It was a home veterinary care book, which was a bit complicated for a 4th grader, but I read that whole thing cover to cover and then successfully diagnosed my cat Oreo with an abscess when that happened. My love for animals didn't stop with cats, though. In high school, I decided I really wanted ferrets. They seemed a whole lot of fun to me, and my parents said as long as I researched them, I could. I read every book I could find about ferrets to make sure I knew exactly what I needed to know to take care of some ferrets, and then adopted 2 of them. Their names were Vanilla and Honey. We had all sorts of fun together, and they're even in some silly Christmas pictures that we took together. I did well in school in general through the entire way. In my high school, I actually got into the Math Honor Society, and there's a plaque on the wall of the school all about me, which is kind of cool. I moved on from that to COD for undergrad. They actually were also so impressed with me, they had me as a part of their advertising campaign. You can find me on their website, and at one point there was even posters about me. I was in mailouts. I was even in a radio ad. I like looking back on there and knowing that I really made a difference in that school, and they helped me get my start in college. Around that time, we got our first dog. His name was Farney. I went through all of his training classes, and he taught me a lot about the dog portion of pets as well. And gotta say, he was a great dog too. Of course, my animal love doesn't stop just there with cats and dogs and ferrets. I liked all of them. I like hanging out with snakes, hang out with squirrels, sugar gliders, you name it. I tried to meet that animal and learn more about them. This brings me to my other undergrad, North Central College, down in Naperville. My favorite experience there, we got to do a spay and neuter surgery on a pair of rats. And you can see me here hanging out with one of my little rat friends in our class. From there, I moved on to volunteer with the Illinois Equine Humane Center, which is sort of west of here, quite a ways. But I got to meet all sorts of wonderful, charming horses and learn more about their care. I don't want to be their doctor, but I still do really love and respect horses. They're cool guys. Moving on from that, that was when I got into veterinary school, and I made a point of volunteering at the Wildlife Medical Clinic. There I got to treat squirrels, raccoons, the occasional fox, and one of my favorites, the pelican. The pelican came into our clinic. He was missing the end of his wing, and we couldn't release him because he couldn't fly, and pelicans need to migrate in the winter. However, it was already November that year, and there was nowhere for him to go. We couldn't just let him outside. He'd freeze. So we kept him, and I was in charge of organizing his care over the winter and learned a lot about how to take care of pelicans. Not a skill I imagine I'll need to use again, but still a very interesting experience. In the end, he went out to live his days at a zoo, and as far as I'm aware, he's still quite a happy guy out there. Now he's got friends. Later in veterinary school, there was an opportunity to help the anesthesia group, and we actually did anesthesia on the big cats in Indiana's rescue center. They were getting dental cleanings and treatments done, kind of like our little cats and dogs. Me and a couple other students went over there, and we monitored their vitals and made sure that everything was going smoothly while they were sedated. It was quite something to get to touch a paw of a tiger. It was bigger than my entire hand. During vet school, I also had a couple other non-animal experiences. I like to go on hikes with my friends, and we got to see all sorts of really neat sights in the meantime. After all that, of course, I graduated from vet school, made it into the Honor Society, which is called Phi Zeta, and got straight A's all the way through, which I am glad to know. Now I'm here at Carroll Stream Animal Hospital, and I have to say this is one of the greatest places I've ever been. Everyone here is so nice, and all the people in the town are really great too. I look forward to seeing your cat or dog and meeting you and getting to know more about you. Thanks for listening.